What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. Dima, let me get some odd couple music. So yeah, as you guys know, I've been really trying to leave Boyce the hell alone because I really don't like Boyce that much, to be honest. But you know, hey, Boyce is interesting. He already has some good content, and people just keep email notifications sound, Dima. They keep hitting me up. They keep hitting me up. They keep hitting me up because Boyce is always saying something that's very controversial in a passive aggressive way. Of course, because you know that's exactly how Boyce does it. It's never direct. It's always indirect, and it's always passive aggressive. Now, Boyce Watkins is now under some other scrutiny here because he has, again, you know, firstly, he's basically gotten married. I have no problem with that. He married a lady that was a single mom. I have no problem with that. But the problem that I have is this whole defense system of what black men need to do with single mothers in the black community. You know, as far as we should not, you know, look at them any different. You know, it's a good option for us to date and marry. And this is a pretty good post that he put up today on his Instagram and on Twitter. Day music. Black men should speak up when other men blanketly disrespect our black women. With all the men who were raised by a single mother, you should be outraged that by anyone implying that single mothers are low-value women. They are talking about your mother. Now, this post has a lot of likes and things like that, and the real Boyce Watkins says, stop dissing black women just to make yourself feel like a man. Most of the guys attacking single mothers were raised by one. You can make your point and still be respectful. This is a very interesting post by Dr. Boyce Watkins, and you'll be surprised what my take is on some of it. Now, when we talk about black men to speak up when other men blanketly disrespect our black women, you know, disrespect is such a subjective word, if that makes sense, because what one person could take as not being disrespectful, somebody else can take it as being disrespectful. For example, let's take Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels, for some women, is not disrespectful. Okay, for a lot of women, he's telling the truth, and it's as he sees it. The black community pretty much can take things like that. We like it straightforward. Usually, most of us do. Some people don't, though. Okay, for some people, it's too harsh, right? And I think that Dr. Boyce Watkins is one of those people who is more or less in his feelings about how things are said, right? Because he even talks about it here. You can make your points and still be respectful. But the problem is that people take phrases, terms, words, essays, talking points, verbiage as being subjective. So there's no real way to police it, because somebody can be offended. You can't please everybody. Okay. Now, if black men are blanketly disrespecting our black women, you know, calling all black women hoes or dots or something like that, black women are the worst women on planet Earth, white women are better, I totally agree. I'm not going to disagree with them, because I get on some of the brothers in the comment section that will say that black men who blanketly disrespect black women put them at the bottom in comparisons to other people, when I don't believe that's necessarily the case. I believe that we have areas that our women are underperforming in, and they're entitled to certain things. But you know, I believe that we have enough women out there that can fit the needs of some black men out there, right? That are interested in it. You know, might not be all, but you know, but I think there's somebody for everybody, right? In our community. So I'm not going to discount that. The problem is that I'm going to have with this is the second part. With all the men who were raised by a single mother, you should be outraged by anyone implying that single mothers are low-value women. Now, see, who else better to tell that story, boys, other than the guys who were raised by single moms? Now, I'm not saying this to imply that all black women who were single mothers are low-value women. But if men who were raised by these women objectively come out and talk about what they saw their mothers doing, what they saw some of their sisters who are single moms doing, because a lot of guys will tell you what their mamas were doing. And, you know, and if the guys come out and objectively tell, not subjective, not how you feel, but objectively the truth, what they saw with their own two eyes, You don't want to have that conversation, boys. All right? Many black men have saw, have witnessed, okay? Not influenced by personal opinions or anything that nature. They're looking at the facts. When you talk about the facts that these guys, what they've been through with single mothers being raised by them, are dating them, you get offended. If you look at data of black women who are married and their children in comparison to black women that are single mothers and their children, well, who performs at a higher rate? Well, obviously the women that have marriages, okay, and they have their children and families will perform better. Well, you know, women that have single motherhood families are single moms that raise black children. Their children perform worse in school, more likely to join gangs, more likely to commit crimes. But that's not subjective, that is objective. So when you talk about how they perform low in comparisons to other cohorts, I'm not even talking about white women here. I'm not talking about Asian women or anything like that. I'm dealing with only women in the black community. Just compare them to other black women who are not single moms, and let's see how it works out. And I'm not saying that they're not, that they're bad people or anything like that or whatever. But usually, okay, there's not going to be the statistics in comparisons to the two are not even the same. So just because you were raised by a single mom, that doesn't mean that you don't have the right to tell the truth about what you experienced. Now, if you're talking about if guys are saying it in a blatantly disrespectful way, I will agree with boys. But the problem is that if guys come out and be objective about what they've seen, if we be objective about the numbers, then somebody's going to try to move the goalpost and say, well, the numbers only tell one side of the story. You see, the reality is you can't have this conversation with black people, boys, especially guys like you. You cannot have the conversation about black men dating single mothers with the opposition like yourself, with certain black women, with certain people in the black community, with liberals and stuff like that, the black church. You just cannot have this discussion with them. This is only a discussion that black men can have in the manosphere and amongst black men. And the one thing I will tell you is you don't have to disrespect anybody, but you should stay away, in my opinion, of trying to be in a situation where a woman has kids by another man. You're not helping the problem in the black community by taking on the brunt of those issues. You're better off dealing with women that don't have kids if you don't have any, all right? Because what they want to do is not be able to call out single moms at all. While the black community, we have like 80%, 83% out of wedlock rate, and you wonder why we don't have any businesses. You wonder why we don't have any money. You wonder why we don't have any generational wealth. Boys, your $400 black business school course cannot save that, all right? You look at all the billionaires that happen right now. Most of them, what billionaires are coming out of single mother homes? None. How many millionaires are coming out of single mother homes? Not many that's coming out of married homes, right? But no one wants to talk about that. No one wants to even talk about accountability for single moms and the men that they choose. It's always, well, don't talk about them. You need to uplift them, and you shouldn't talk about them because your mother was a single mother. So this is another tactic to get you guys to shut up about what happened to you. And the reality is, does that really solve the problem? Boyce is not really concerned about solving the black problem. He wants to put bandages over the problem, and so that the wounds are still going to be there. Many black men want to solve the problem. Many black women want to solve the problem. But when you have boys and gatekeepers like that, then you can't get the problem solved. You're only going to have the same issues that are going to be constitutive, which is what the status quo wants. While they still become rich, selling dreams to others, not fix the problem still persists, and we still continue to go to the back of the bus, the bottom of the society, while the Asians and the other groups are staying together and creating families. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again. Another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell, check out the first company at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. Don't forget the black men purse t-shirts. I'm out.